Good morning from Joliet, Illinois, Dooley Health and Care Field, the home of the University of St. Francis Fighting Saints. For the finale of the regular season for St. Francis today, they take on St. Ambrose in Game 3, the rubber match of a three-game series. Terry Bonadonna with you on the call for today's action, which has been moved around a couple of times to deal with the weather. It is not raining at the moment, so we'll get a dry start to today's game as the Saints look to finish on a high note, St. Ambrose still has one game remaining on the regular season schedule. They split a doubleheader yesterday. As part of a 3-game series, St. Ambrose gets to be the home team once, and today's the day. So even though we are playing this game in Joliet, the Saints will come to bat first in their traveling gray and brown uniforms. St. Ambrose is in their home white pants as they're out on the field. Let's take a peek at who's in the starting lineup for the visiting side today, St. Francis. Leading things off is the designated hitter, 5th-year senior John Peterson, who is honored today, one of 12 players honored on Senior Day. Another one is the second hitter, shortstop Noah Carraro. Batting third is left fielder Eric Maffey. The cleanup hitter is catcher Jake Lasota. Luke Ketchum bats 5th and plays center field. John McGuire is at first base. Sam Tumulty hits 7th in right field. Alex Martinez plays second base. And batting 9th, third baseman Jonathan Wolf. The starting pitcher for St. Ambrose today is right-hander Francis Quinn. Quinn is ready to get things started. The first pitch of the ball game comes in low for ball 1, and we are underway. 11:43 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Originally scheduled for a 3 o'clock start, rescheduled to 1 o'clock, 11, and finally we get things started just shy of noon as Peterson takes the ball inside. The count moves to 2-0. John Peterson had one of his best games in a while, a couple of days ago. During a doubleheader showdown against Indiana South Bend, he had 4 hits. He comes in with a .259 average overall, making his 16th start of the year. Peterson has not homered. He's got 12 RBIs, 4 extra base hits. He flies this ball sky high center field. Kyle Alexander is under it. He makes the grab. 1 away. Let's get a look at the numbers of today's starting pitcher, Francis Quinn. Quinn is a junior from the south side of Chicago, attended Marist High School. On the season, he's 2-1 with a 3.70 ERA. This is his 9th start in 41 1/3 innings. He's allowed 18 runs, 17 of them earned on 39 hits with 37 strikeouts and 12 walks. His first pitch to Noah Carraro comes in at the knees for strike 1. Carraro's a .269 hitter, 15 extra base hits, including 12 doubles. He's got 31 runs batted in, primarily the leadoff hitter over the course of this season for the Saints. He hits a chopper to third underneath the glove of Brendan Butler at third base. It rolls into left field, and Noah Carraro is aboard with 1 out in the top of the first inning. It's an error on Brendan Butler. An awkward play by Butler right there. He was caught in between hops. You got the artificial surface here, which typically delivers clean hops on any ground balls. But a lot of these fielders aren't used to playing on it. A lot more natural surfaces around the conference as there's a ball downstairs. 1-0 on Eric Maffey, a .399 hitter. Maffey has 4 home runs, 36 RBIs this year. Slow going in yesterday's doubleheader, as was the case with pretty much everybody, especially in Game 1, 1-0 pitcher's duel. So he's had his average tick down below 400 for the first time in about a week as Maffey fouls this one back behind home plate. The count goes to 1-1. 1 out, 1 on, 1-1 count on Maffey. One of the best in the CCAC this year. Quinn sets for the next offering. Swung on and missed. It's 1-2. Carraro's at first base on the Butler error. On a ball that he misplayed at third base. Looked like it was going to be 2 outs, nobody on base. Saints caught a break. We'll see what they can do with it. 1-2 pitch. Maffey hits another chopper to third. This time Butler plays it cleanly, throws to second, and gets the force. So 2 outs in the inning, 5-4 on the fielder's choice as Maffey is safe at first base. Jake Lasota will bat with 2 out and 1 on. So redemption of a sort for Brendan Butler, who again mishandled a chopper just 1 at bat earlier. This time he plays it cleanly. But a softly hit ball, no chance to get two. Jim Callahan might disagree with that notion that there was no chance to get two. It looks like he's arguing interference at second base and wants a double play. Tough call to get turned in his favor here, if indeed that is what he's arguing. Just at the rate that that play was moving, there certainly was not going to be a chance to double up Maffey at first base, regardless of the slide at second base. So, again, I'm not positive that that's what he's contesting right now, but that's just the first thing that comes to mind. Really, the only thing that comes to mind on that last play that he could have an issue with. He is pointing out towards second base. But as it stands, Eric Maffey is at first with two away, thanks to a flyout. Back-to-back ground balls to third. One an error, one a fielder's choice, and looks like we're ready to continue. So Jake Lasota, who's been a big RBI man all season for St. Francis, gets a chance with a man on base and 2 outs. Lasota, 364 hitter, 2 homers, 41 runs knocked in, second behind Luke Ketchum on the team. First pitch to Lasota is fouled straight back for strike one. The rain stopped briefly. It is falling again, but only a drizzle at the moment. It's been off and on throughout the morning, sometimes harder than others. The 0-1 pitch. Lasota swings and misses. 0-2. Of course, the positive of the all unnatural turf field is that the game will only be interrupted if rain makes it so that play becomes unsafe. The field will be fine. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Quinn strikes out Jake Lasota and ends the top half of the first inning. No runs, no hits, 1 error. The Saints leave a man at first base. We'll go to the bottom of the inning. St. Ambrose will get their first chance to bat in a scoreless tie. St. Ambrose is getting set to bat in the bottom of the first inning. Let's take a look at their starting lineup. Adrian Zaitera is the leadoff batter, the right fielder. Batting second, left fielder Sean Rigsby. The shortstop is Bryce Vincent. Cooper Huckabone hits cleanup and plays first base. Batting fifth, third baseman Brendan Butler. The designated hitter and 6th hitter is Max Rumpf. Hitting seventh, center fielder Kyle Alexander. Mike Snow plays second base. And hitting ninth is catcher Nate Villagomez. That starting 9 for St. Ambrose is going against the veteran right-hander for St. Francis. Angel Sandoval makes his 9th start of the season. For Sandoval, who is a senior and celebrating his senior day today, it's his 43rd career start. Sandoval this season 2-3 with a 5.70 ERA. He's ready to deliver his first pitch, and it hits the outside corner for strike 1 on Adrian Zaitera. Zaitera is a .358 hitter for the season as he takes the ball up and away to even the count. He's got 3 homers and 19 RBIs. He'll be followed by Rigsby and Vincent against this longtime starter for St. Francis, Angel Sandoval, in his 5th season with the Saints. He fires a strike. It's 1-2. He used up that 5th year of eligibility that everybody got thanks to last season's COVID interruptions. 1-2 the count on Zaitera. Sandoval sets for the next one. Lined out to right field, a base hit. And the first hit of the game belongs to St. Ambrose. It belongs to their leadoff hitter, right fielder Adrian Zaitera, who singles into right. For Angel Sandoval, that's the 45th hit allowed in 30 innings pitched this season. He's given up 20 runs, 19 of them earned. Sandoval has struck out 12 and walked just 4. So expect a lot of contact today. Very few strikeouts for Sandoval and even fewer walks. That's the MO for him. Leadoff man is aboard. The batter is Sean Rigsby. Rigsby, the left-handed hitting left fielder, takes ball 1 high. Sean Rigsby this season has hit .317. He's got 11 extra base hits, including 1 long ball. 30 runs knocked in for Rigsby on the season. He takes upstairs for the 2nd consecutive pitch. 2-0 on Rigsby as St. Ambrose tries to put themselves in position to score first, something they have not yet done in this series. They dropped the opener of yesterday's doubleheader by a 1-0 final. Nick Villasenor outdueled Connor O'Hara in that game. Called strike 1. It's 2-1. Game 2 was significantly more offensive. The Fighting Saints took a multi-run lead early on, but the Fighting Bees roared back. Is that what bees do? Roar? They buzzed back, I guess. They fought their way to an 8-6 victory. Runner goes. The pitch is bunted third base side. Tough play for Sandoval, who backhands it. Throws to first. Not in time. So it's an infield single for Sean Rigsby, who was looking to advance Zaitera to second base. A very good play. Or a very good bunt, I should say. Jonathan Wolf came sprinting in from third to try to make the play. He certainly would have been at a better angle to throw than Angel Sandoval was, but Sandoval got to the ball a little bit quicker. So Sandoval made the play, threw the off-balance toss over to first base, and it was just a hair late. Here's Bryce Vincent. 2 on, nobody out. Vincent takes ball 1 low and in. Bryce Vincent's a .340 hitter. 3 homers, 31 RBIs. The 1-0 pitch to him misses inside. 2-0. Angel Sandoval's fallen behind the last few hitters in a tough spot here in the bottom of the first. St. Ambrose tries to capture this series in 3rd place in the CCAC. That's what's at stake today. Bouncing ball to third. Jonathan Wolf scoops it up, steps on the bag, and throws across in the dirt. McGuire can't pick it. Now here comes Rigsby around to third base, and they're at the corners. So that'll be an error on Wolf on his throw in the dirt. And it turns out to be a pretty successful play, a fielder's choice plus an error for St. Ambrose as they get Vincent to first and Rigsby to third. So the error allows Vincent to be safe and Rigsby to advance. Looked like it was going to be a runner at second with 2 outs after a double play. And instead we get runners at the corners and just 1 out on the play as Cooper Huckabone steps in and takes ball 1 outside. Huckabone, 6 foot 6 inch tall, 245-pound first baseman. He's a .354 batter with some big pop in the bat, 10 home runs, 43 RBIs. Both of those lead the team. Runner goes. The pitch is a strike. Throw to second is in time to catch Rigsby, or rather Vincent, trying to steal second base, and there's 2 down. I called that, of course, very poorly. It was not in time. The throw was well late. But Vincent's obviously misjudging the slickness of the turf. He overslid that bag by about 5 feet. So he's thrown out. The count is 1-1 on Huckabone. And a big chance now for the Saints to get out of the inning. Ground ball to the shortstop. Noah Carraro up with it. The throw to first is in time. Sandoval and company get out of the jam. And St. Ambrose, who had 2 on with nobody out, does not score. They leave a man at third base. 1 inning down, 8 to play, no score. Luke Ketchum leads off the second for the Fighting Saints. St. Francis and St. Ambrose scoreless after an eventful first inning. Eventful, but I guess nothing on the scoreboard. You wouldn't know it by looking at what we see so far. No runs on the board for either side. Luke Ketchum swings the first pitch and fouls it away for strike 1. The 2 teams combined for 2 hits and 2 errors in the first inning, but didn't see anybody cross the plate. In fact, in the bottom of the first alone, St. Ambrose had 2 hits, and they were helped out by an error. But they left a man at third, had a runner caught stealing, and ended up without anything to show for their efforts. As Ketchum takes a ball outside, 1-1. Luke Ketchum's hitting .344. He's got 28 extra base hits, including a team-leading 12 home runs and 43 RBIs. He gets a tapper foul. It's 1-2. Ketchum comes into play today slugging .694 for the season. Just a sensational campaign for Luke Ketchum, another of the 12 who's playing his final regular season home game for the Fighting Saints. 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called, a fastball over the outside corner. Nice pitch by Francis Quinn, who has 2 strikeouts now. That's back-to-back Ks. 1 to end the first, 1 to begin the second. Quinn came in with just under 1 strikeout per inning pitched for the year. Francis Quinn has been very good this year. He would be the ace on almost any staff in the conference. John McGuire foul tips the first pitch, strike 1. Connor O'Hara is really having a sensational season, though. Senior right-hander who threw yesterday and took a very tough luck loss, a 3-hitter, but lost 1-0. 0-1 on McGuire, who takes up high, 1-1. John McGuire playing first base today as opposed to his traditional second. He's a .319 batter with a homer and 22 runs knocked in. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now 2 balls and 1 strike, as that one nearly hit McGuire. Connor O'Hara this season, .251 ERA. He's held opponents to a sub-200 batting average. So he's been the top dog on this St. Ambrose staff this year as McGuire loops one to the left side and out to left field. Bryce Vincent made a leaping effort, but didn't even bother to stick his glove up. The ball several feet above his head turns into the first hit of the game for St. Francis, a soft single for John McGuire. 1 out, man aboard. Here's Sam Tumulty. Quinn this year has not walked very many hitters. He's not given up many hits. His ERA, which is a solid 3.7, really is still probably not indicative of how well he's pitched. I think he's been a little bit better than that number would indicate. Probably run into some bad luck over the course of the season. 6'7" tall right-hander. Facing Sam Tumulty, the freshman, for the first time. Tumulty takes a ball inside, 1-0. Sam Tumulty's a .293 hitter. 15 runs knocked in for the season. And when he gets on base, he has utilized his good speed. 10 steals for the year for Tumulty. 1-0. Inside, and it got him on the bat. And that's a foul ball. Goes as strike one. 1-1 on Tumulty. Tough break for the Fighting Saints. That actually came in behind Sam Tumulty. And he ducked down but didn't get the bat down. So it hit off the bat and ricocheted to the backstop. It's a foul ball, and the count is 1-1 with one out and a man at first. Next pitch from Francis Quinn. Swung on and missed. It's 1-2. Quinn bidding for his third consecutive out on strikes. McGuire takes his lead away from first base. Quinn glances over his left shoulder at him, but comes into the set position for the 1-2 offering, trying to put away Sam Tumulty. Tapper back to the mound. It's past the pitcher Quinn. Charging is the shortstop Vincent, and he has no play. An infield single for Sam Tumulty. Back-to-back base hits for the Saints. They're not making hard contact, but they're making enough contact. No chance for Vincent against the speedy Tumulty there. That was either the pitcher's ball or no one's. And Quinn didn't seem to know exactly how he wanted to approach it. It was hit so softly, he probably had a chance to get himself back in fielding position and get in front of the ball, but he tried to play it from behind and went underneath his glove. Ball one in the dirt on Alex Martinez. It was just hit at a tough angle and at such a soft pace that the pitcher Quinn really didn't know what to do with it. It was a difficult play. Martinez jumps out of the way of a ball inside. 2-0. Alex Martinez starting at second base today. Comes in with a .260 average, a homer, and 11 RBIs. He's got a .427 on base percentage thanks to a team leading 26 walks taken. Martinez takes high. It's 3-0. This is his 33rd start this year. So Martinez has started over half of his team's games. Playing a lot of second base of late. He takes ball four inside. So that's his team leading 27th walk of the season. And it loads the bases. With only one out, 3 consecutive base runners. The Saints have hit just one ball out of the infield this inning. And that was a bloop single for John McGuire. Other than that, an infield hit that traveled all of about 70 feet. And a 4-pitch walk. RBI opportunity here for Jonathan Wolf. He swings to the first pitch and grounds it to short. Vincent flips to second for one. The relay throw is in time, and the inning is over. The Fighting Saints load the bases with only one out, but just one pitch later, Francis Quinn gets out of the jam, getting a 6-4-3 double play. We've played an inning and a half. No score. Bottom of the second inning, St. Ambrose coming to bat for the second time, facing right-hander Angel Sandoval. Sandoval will face Butler, Rumpf, and Alexander, and the first pitch misses low and away for ball one. Brendan Butler gets his first at-bat of the day. The third baseman is a .285 hitter with 2 homers and 25 runs knocked in. There's a called strike. It's 1-1. Both of these teams have had some good scoring chances in the early going. St. Ambrose had runners at first and third with only 1 out last inning. Did not cross the plate as that ball's popped up near the St. Francis dugout. It drops into the dugout. A foul ball, strike 2. St. Francis ended up loading the bases in the top half of this inning with only 1 out, but thanks to a double play, St. Ambrose was able to get out of that. A ball and 2 strikes on Butler. And it remains a ball and 2 strikes. Next pitch from Sandoval is up and away, ball 2. And the count is even. Ball 3 upstairs, full count on Butler. Good at bat so far. He's seen 6 pitches from Angel Sandoval. And trying to get this bottom of the second off to a strong start. Here's the set from Sandoval. The full count pitch is grounded weakly to third base. Jonathan Wolf throws it high to first. McGuire is there to make the grab for out number 1. Turned out not to be a bad throw from Wolf. McGuire, though, playing a little bit out of position today. Usually a second baseman. Still trying to get his footing over at first. Kind of misjudged it. The ball did come in high, but dropped down into his glove, and he was getting ready to leap. And then kind of knuckled on him, and he was able to get his glove in position to make the grab. So it worked out just fine for both corner infielders as Max Rumpf, takes strike 1. Rumpf is a .266 hitter for the season. So he takes the ball high to even the count at 1. Rumpf has 10 runs knocked in this year, 4 extra base hits, including 3 doubles. He bats with 1 out and the base is empty. Leadoff batter retired here in the bottom of the second inning. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Ball outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's a high pop-up foul ground right side. McGuire over in front of the seats. That one is well out of play. It remains 2-2. St. Ambrose comes into today's game at 21-7 in conference play. St. Francis is 21-8. So a win today for the Fighting Saints would move them into sole possession of third place, behind only Olivet Nazarene and St. Xavier. 2-2 pitch, a high bouncer down the third base line. That's a foul ball. It remains 2-2. Fighting Saints regular season ends today. Not so for the Fighting Bees, as this ball is popped up behind home plate. Jake Lasota watches it sail out of play. Up on top of the press box. Another 2-strike foul from Max Rumpf. He's seen 7 pitches so far in this at-bat. So a win for St. Francis would put them ahead of St. Ambrose, also with a 2-1 season series edge. But St. Ambrose would still have the opportunity to tie them up if they win their game against Trinity later this week. Of course, they'll be back here next week. It's the start of the conference tournament less than a week from now. It'll all be played right here at Dooley Health and Care Field. Another 2-2 pitch. Check swing on a ball downstairs, 3-2. Great at bat so far for Max Rumpf. Might not mean a lot if he doesn't get on base, but he's put himself in position to do so. He's seen 8 pitches so far. Second straight batter to work the count full against Sandoval, who has already thrown 15 pitches in the inning without allowing a base runner. There's a swing and a miss. Sandoval can throw all the pitches in the world. If he keeps getting the results he's getting, I'm sure he'll be okay with it. Strike 3 on Rumpf, the first strikeout of the game for St. Ambrose. Or for Sandoval against St. Ambrose, I should say. 2 outs, space is empty. And that brings up the center fielder, Kyle Alexander, who swings at the first pitch and grounds it to third. Wolf fires over to first, and the inning is over. So a 1-2-3 inning, first one of those for either pitcher today. It wasn't easy getting there, some tough battles against hitters, but Sandoval got them all. We head to the third, no score. St. Francis will try to break this scoreless tie in the top of the third inning with the top of the order due up. John Peterson, Noah Carraro, Eric Maffey facing right-hander Francis Quinn. Peterson is 0 for 1 with a fly out to center field. Quinn sets for the first pitch to him. And it swung on and missed for strike 1. Peterson, a .259 hitter, up into the leadoff spot here. He's played sporadically over the course of the conference season. Swing and a miss, it's 0-2. Well, he started sporadically. He's played almost every game. Almost always as a pinch runner, though. He's been more often than not used as Jake Lesota's runner, the catcher for St. Francis. And Lesota reaches base just about every game, so he's needed a lot of them. As Peterson watches strike 3 go by over the outside corner. 1 up, 1 down in the top of the third. Noah Carraro is the batter. He's 0 for 1, reached on an error in the first inning. Ball low and away, 1-0. Noah was the first of what has been 4 base runners for the Fighting Saints in today's game. They've left 3 on and hit into a double play, so they've not scored. Strike over the outside edge. Count goes to 1-1. Strike 2 called on Noah Carraro. And Francis Quinn is ahead of him. Quinn just picked up his third strikeout of the game, getting Peterson on 3 pitches to start the inning. Quinn sets for the next offering. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. It's in the dirt. So Villagomez has to throw down to first to make it official. He gets Carraro by plenty. Back-to-back strikeouts, 2 down in this third inning. 4 strikeouts already in the game. Quinn looks good. Aside from his 4-pitch walk to Alex Martinez, he has been very sharp today. That Martinez walk loaded the bases, but the first 2 runners that inning were on a little bloop single and a tapper on the infield that turned into a hit. So he has not given up anything close to a hard hit ball yet today. Eric Maffey will try to change that as he steps in and immediately falls behind in the count. Strike 1. Maffey reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. Ball low and away. That evens the count, 1-1. There's a fly ball out to deep left center field. It is the first hard hit ball of the game, and it hits against the wall on 1 hop. Maffey into second base. He's got a double. Eric Maffey reaches second base, his 19th double of the season, and the 3rd hit of the game for the Fighting Saints. So there are 2 outs in the inning, but they've got a scoring chance here. Eric Maffey aboard for Jake Lasota. Lasota, for the 2nd time today, gets to hit with a man on. He's 0 for 1. Struck out swinging to end the first inning. Quinn will try to get him to end this inning as well. First pitch to Lasota, taken for ball 1. Quinn, the tall right-hander, sets and watches the runner at second. Back to the plate. Swing and a miss. Count goes to 1-1. Next pitch on the way from Francis Quinn. In the dirt, it skips away from the catcher Villagomez, and Eric Maffey moves on to third base. The count is 2-1. There are 2 outs, but the Saints now are just 90 feet away from scoring first in today's game. So good opportunity for Lasota. Quinn, though, has been tough to hit so far. Let's see if Lasota can be the exception here. Maffey is already 1 exception. Lasota's trying to be a 2nd exception. 2-1 pitch. Check swing, and it hits off the inside of his bat for strike 2. Foul tipped by Jake Lasota. Tried to hold himself up. That pitch was not in the strike zone. But he couldn't keep the bat out of the way of the incoming pitch. So it's even now, 2-2, 2 outs, a man at third, no score in the top of the 3rd inning. Quinn's next pitch. Popped up, foul to the right side, and out of play. The sun is starting to make an appearance here. This is far and away the nicest it's been so far today. We've had a very cool spring in this area, but today's one of the warmer days we've had in a while, so as long as that rain can stay away, good conditions for baseball as Lasota chops it foul past third base. Still 2-2. Quinn's 2-2 offering is popped up in a shallow left center field. Vincent goes back on it, and it's over his head. Jake Lasota has an RBI single. The Saints take the 1-0 lead. Another soft single, but the Saints will take it. Any run they can get, they'll be very happy with, especially the way this game has started. As a pitcher's duel, Jake Lasota has his 42nd RBI this year. Maffey comes in. Maffey probably would have scored from second as well, but the wild pitch certainly helped out and assuring that he would score from third base. A little pop-up base hit for Jake Lasota does the trick. Here's Luke Ketchum now with a man at first and 2 outs. Quinn's first pitch to Ketchum is taken for a ball outside. The runner's on the move. Throw to second is there for the out. That was Scott Tumulty running, the pinch runner for Jake Lasota. And like we saw earlier in the game, that slick surface has helped out the defense. Tumulty slides past the bag and gets tagged out on the back end. So the inning is over, but a run scores on back-to-back 2-out hits. We head to the bottom of the third, 1-0 St. Francis. Bottom of the third inning, and for the first time today, St. Ambrose is playing from behind. They'll try to erase this 1-0 deficit after St. Francis was able to get on the scoreboard with back-to-back 2-out hits. Strike one called on Mike Snow, the second baseman. Eric Maffey and Jake Lasota were able to do the trick for the Fighting Saints, a double and a single. Move them ahead 1-0 as Snow grounds it to third. Knocked down by Wolf. He sticks with it and throws over to first for out number 1. Nice job by Wolf. Didn't stick it cleanly as the ball initially came in. But he had no problem keeping the ball in front of him and throwing to first in plenty of time to get Mike Snow. So Snow's retired and Nate Villagomez is the batter. Villagomez, the catcher for St. Ambrose, fouls back the first pitch, strike one. Nate Villagomez, a .259 hitter, 21 RBIs. There's a high pop-up, foul territory right side. McGuire over on it. He seems to have room, and he makes the catch. 2 down. So McGuire puts away Villagomez. A quick start to this inning for Angel Sandoval as he has recorded 2 outs on just 4 pitches. Here is Adrian Zaitera. Zaitera is 1 for 1, singled in the first inning. This time he steps in and takes strike one. Zaitera's single got St. Ambrose off to a strong start in the bottom of the first. 2 of the first 3 batters reached. They had runners at the corners with only 1 out, but didn't score. They haven't threatened since then as Zaitera takes a ball high. Angel Sandoval has retired 8 consecutive batters. Swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Make that 7 consecutive batters. Now he's 1 strike away from making it 8 in a row. He gets the sign in from Lesota. The right-hander Sandoval comes set. His 1-2 pitch. Popped up foul to the right side, and that's out of play. Still 1-2. A little bit high from Sandoval. That evens the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs, nobody on base. Righty to righty, the next pitch. Ground ball up the middle and out to center field. Diving effort from Alex Martinez, couldn't come up with it though. Zaitera takes a hard turnaround first, but does not risk getting thrown out at second base. A 2-out single, the 3rd hit of the day for the Fighting Bees. And the batter is Sean Rigsby. Rigsby reached on a very impressive bunt single in the first inning. One of the 3 hits, the other 2 obviously belonging to Zaitera, as I just mentioned. Zaitera runs on the first pitch to Rigsby. It's a strike. Throw to second is not in time, and Zaitera does not overslide the base. Well, with the sun out, maybe the field is drying a little bit. It's the first stolen base attempt we've seen today in which the runner did not get thrown out for sliding past second. So a 2-out base stolen, and now a man in scoring position, and suddenly what looked like an easy inning for Sandoval has turned into a little bit of a problem. 1-0 and a ball high. It's 2-0 on Rigsby. The stolen base for Adrian Zaitera is his 25th of this season. St. Ambrose is a team that runs every chance they get. They've done so today. Zaitera successful here. Rigsby flies it into left field, down the line and foul. That's out of play. 2-1. Sandoval's been good so far. He mentioned the bunt single by Rigsby, but other than that one bunt hit, Zaitera's the only one who's been able to get to him. And if he can keep it that way to wrap up this 3rd inning, he will leave a man over at second base and keep his team in front. 1-0 the score. It's the bottom of the 3rd. Remember, St. Ambrose is playing as the home team as a result of the schedule change. Line drive down the left field line. That's a foul ball. 2nd time in a row, he's hit one out to left field down the line. The first one cut foul by plenty in the end. This one just barely drops wide of the line. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes, and for the 2nd time, Sandoval is 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. Sandoval takes his time, now steps back to the rubber. Looks in at Lesota for the sign and tries to put Rigsby back out into the field. The 2-2 pitch. Check swing and a ball upstairs, 3-2. It hasn't always been smooth sailing for Sandoval today. A lot of tough at-bats. These St. Ambrose hitters are really working the count consistently against Sandoval. 3-2. Strike 3 called. Got him looking over the inner third. And the inning comes to a close. 2nd strikeout for Sandoval. And the Bees leave a man at second base. We head to the 4th. St. Francis 1, St. Ambrose nothing. St. Francis leads by a run. We're into the top of the fourth, and Luke Ketchum is the batter. Ketchum, McGuire, and Tumulty due up. Ketchum leading off an inning for the second time today. Takes a strike over the outside corner. For different reasons, though. Last time around it was because Jake Lasota ended the previous inning. This time, Jake Lasota picked up an RBI single, but then a caught stealing left Ketchum in the batter's box. He had an 0-1 count on him as the last inning ended. This one is tapped to the right side of the infield. Quinn picks it up and carries it to the bag himself. One unassisted, one out in the inning. So Ketchum is 0 for 2. Nice job by Quinn fielding his position, hopping off the mound. An excuse-me swing from Luke Ketchum. He tried to pull back, but the ball ricocheted off the bat. No swing there, but ball hit the bat anyway and rolled out to the first base side. So one away, here's John McGuire. McGuire takes the first pitch strike. John McGuire is 1 for 1. He blooped a single out to left field his first time up. Made it as far as third base, but was stranded there. Ball in the dirt. The count goes to 1-1. Quinn sets for the next pitch. Ground ball to the left side. Scooped up by the third baseman Butler. The spin and throw. Not in time. An infield single for McGuire. He's aboard for the second time today. The ball just got a little bit too deep on the infield. By the time Butler had cut in front of the shortstop Bryce Vincent, too much time had passed and there was no chance to make the play. Sam Tumulty is the batter with a runner at first base and 1 out. Grounder back to the mound. Nice play by Quinn. He throws to second a little bit off the mark and does get the force. Mike Snow pulls it in. And Snow is able to get the out at second base. 1-4 on the fielder's choice. But no chance to turn the double play thanks to the throw not being put on the money. So John McGuire is out. Tumulty is safe at first base. And the Saints get a break there. That's one they probably should have gotten 2 on. Jake Vera is going to be the batter, pinch hitting for Martinez here. Vera did not get the start, the typical left fielder. Instead, it was Alex Martinez at second base with the defense shuffled a little bit. Strike 1 on a foul back. Martinez played second. John McGuire, the usual second baseman, moved over to first base, and Eric Maffey, who usually plays first, was out in left field for the first 3 innings of today's game. As the runner takes off from first, pitches a ball outside, throw to second is not in time. 1-1 on Jake Vera. And a man in scoring position now as Sam Tumulty steals his 11th base of the season. One and one on Vera. An RBI chance now as the Saints try to double their lead. Vera shows bunt. Takes the ball outside. St. Francis scored with 2 outs last inning. Can they do it again here in the 4th? Vera lifts it into left field. Coming in is Sean Rigsby. Rigsby does not make the catch. It hits off of his glove and drops into left field. Sam Tumulty comes around to score, and the lead is 2-0. I'm not sure exactly what happened to Sean Rigsby right there. It looked like he misjudged it. He dove when I really don't think he had to. And his arm was at an awkward angle as the ball hit off his glove and dropped in for a base hit. So the defense of St. Ambrose has left something to be desired this inning. Because Tumulty was running on contact with 2 outs, he's able to score easily. It's an RBI single for Jake Vera. Vera's 28th RBI this year. And it brings up Jonathan Wolf. Back-to-back innings for St. Francis. They have picked up 2 out RBI hits. Jake Lasota did it in the third. Jake Vera does it here in the fourth. And Jonathan Wolf hits for the second time. He came up with the bases loaded in the second inning and grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. Trying to bounce back from that at bat with a big 2-out hit here. He takes the ball inside. 1-0. Angel Sandoval hasn't been perfect on the mound today. He's had some tough battles with St. Ambrose hitters, but he's been good. Obviously, no runs through 3 innings is good no matter what. Ground ball to the shortstop, picked up by Bryce Vincent, and he throws to second, getting the force, the fielder's choice, and the end to the inning. The Saints score 1 on 2 hits. They leave 1. At the end of 3.5, it's 2-0 St. Francis. Three, 4, and 5 due up in the St. Ambrose batting order. Second time through the order. Fighting Saints have a 2-0 lead. And the first pitch to Bryce Vincent misses low for ball 1. St. Ambrose has had 3 base runners so far. They've left 2 of them on, both in scoring position, but Sandoval's been good. He misses outside. Now it goes to 2-0. Vincent reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. The St. Ambrose shortstop takes the ball outside. Count is 3-0. No walks yet in the game for Sandoval, but he's gone to 3 balls on quite a few hitters. Strike 1 called on Vincent. I was talking in the top half of this inning about the fact that Sandoval hasn't been perfect, but he's been good. And you give a good pitcher a 2-0 lead, puts you in great shape as an offense. There's a foul ball off of Vincent's foot. Count goes to 3-2. Pitcher throwing well with a 1-run lead is still a pretty good feeling, but when a pitcher's going well and all of a sudden that lead is doubled, that puts the other offense back on its heels a little bit. We're still relatively early in this game. The Bees have more than half of their outs still to play with, 2/3 of them, in fact. But a 2-0 deficit in the 4th inning feels a heck of a lot worse than a 1-0 deficit does. There's a tapper back to the mound. Sandoval can't glove it cleanly the first time. He does get it as he reaches back and picks it up and tosses over to first for the out. So 1-3 on the putout. I think maybe the ball's a little bit slippery. We've seen several infielders struggle to pick the ball up cleanly on their first effort today. Leadoff batter is retired for the 3rd straight inning. And Cooper Huckabone bats with nobody on base. It's how you always want to face Huckabone. That's why you want to face everybody. That's called a perfect game when everybody comes up with nobody on. Huckabone takes ball 1 low. But this is a St. Ambrose team that is built on getting on base and running, stealing a lot of bags. Huckabone is the one guy who possesses a lot of power wearing blue today. Ball high, 2-0. The lone hitter who has a bit of a different approach to statistics. Huckabone has 10 of his team's 20 home runs this year, so they don't hit him far all that often. But this is the one guy who's capable of doing that on a regular basis. He hits this one deep out to center field, but it's playable for Luke Ketchum. Ketchum does just as his name implies and puts away Huckabone for out number 2. The defense has shifted for St. Francis, as you might have expected after Jake Vera pinch hit for Alex Martinez last inning. Vera stayed in left. Maffey moved from left to first, and McGuire from first back over to second base. Angel Sandoval can have his second 1-2-3 inning of the game if he retires Brendan Butler here. Butler's the third baseman. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out to third. Fouled away, right side, strike 1. Always a big pitch for Sandoval, getting ahead of hitters. He's had a hard time doing that for the most part today. Ball up and in, 1-1. He's fallen behind more often than not today, but he's recovered. He's been getting outs. He's allowed just 3 total base runners, all of them on singles. One of those singles was on a bunt, so he's not been hit hard at all. Strike called, 1-2. And only the first 2 batters in the lineup have reached for St. Ambrose. 3 through 9 so far have gone a combined 0 for 9. Fouled away, still 1-2. He's got 2 strikeouts, Sandoval that is, not Butler. Sandoval's got 2 strikeouts. He can get number 3 right here. He's ahead of Butler. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's a righty versus righty matchup. And here's the pitch. Strike 3 called, and the inning is over. Sandoval stays sharp, his second perfect inning of the game. 3 strikeouts for the 5th-year senior. We've played 4. 2-0, St. Francis. Top of the 5th inning, it's 2-0. St. Francis leads St. Ambrose. They have scored single runs in each of the last 2 innings. They'll try to create a little separation here in the 5th with the top of their order due up against Francis Quinn. Quinn's first pitch to John Peterson is over for strike 1. Peterson is 0 for 2 today. He flew out to center field in the 1st inning, struck out looking in the 3rd. The 0-1 breaks over the inside corner, strike 2. Quinn has retired the leadoff batter every inning, trying to make it 5 for 5 right here. And he may have just done that as Peterson pops it up on the infield left side. Playable for the shortstop. Bryce Vincent makes the grab. 1 up, 1 down in the 5th inning. So he has retired the leadoff man 5 in a row. His problem has been getting out of innings. Both of St. Francis's runs have come in with 2 outs. In the third inning, it was back-to-back two-out hits. Here in the fifth, Noah Carraro bats with one out, nobody on. Noah is 0 for 2. He's struck out and reached on an error. He hits a chopper to the third baseman, charging it. Butler, gloves, throws to first. Not in time. An infield base hit for Noah Carraro. And the Saints have a man aboard. And with just one out in the inning. Carraro really flashed his speed right there because Butler was actually playing in, guarding against the bunt. He charged and made that play well. It wasn't a perfect throw, but the throw was still caught at first base by Cooper Huckabone on a short hop, but he did bring it in. And then still Carraro was able to just barely beat it out. Eric Maffey stands in as Quinn makes a throw over to first to keep Noah Carraro from taking off. He has stolen 13 bases this year in 16 attempts. Eric Maffey's 1 for 2. He grounds it foul past third. Maffey doubled and scored in the third inning. Strike over the outside corner. 0-2 on Eric Maffey. Jake Lasota is on deck. St. Francis has a runner at first base with one out. We're in the top of the fifth inning. Pickoff throw over to first base. Carraro was leaning, and now they've got him in a rundown. Vincent chases him back to the bag, and the tag is applied by the pitcher Francis Quinn for out number 2. 1-3-6-1 on the caught stealing. Carraro is the second Fighting Saint to be retired on the base paths today. I guess the third, technically, the second to have been caught stealing. And now there are 2 outs and the bases are empty. Suddenly, it's a pretty low-pressure moment for Vincent, who's already, or rather for Quinn, who's already ahead of Maffey 0-2. Quinn tries to put him away. Ball outside. 1-2. There's a swing and a high pop-up on the right side of the infield. First baseman Huckabone is under it. Huckabone makes the grab. The inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on. We'll go to the bottom of the fifth at the halfway point here. 2-0, St. Francis. It's the bottom of the fifth. We're still not halfway through the game as far as the St. Ambrose offense is concerned, but I talked about last inning how well Sandoval is pitching and holding a multi-run lead, how big that is, as he gets a swing and a miss for strike one on Max Rumpf, which means we're starting to get to that point in the game where St. Ambrose better start making a move soon. Rumpf swings and misses, 0-2. Not that their chances are gone if they don't score in the fifth inning, just that they need to build up something right now to give them a little bit more confidence going forward the rest of the game, because so far St. Francis has locked them down, fouled back, still 0-2. Max Rumpf is 0-for-1 with a strikeout, one of 3 for Sandoval so far. Fighting Saints have out-hit the Fighting Bees 7-3. And of course they've got the 2-run advantage. Not a big advantage. Don't want to overstate it. Ground ball to third. Jonathan Wolf gloves it on a couple of hops. Throws to first and retires the leadoff man. Rumpf is 0-for-2. And the batter is Kyle Alexander. Alexander is 0-for-1 today. He grounded out on the first pitch he saw in the second inning. 266 average for the season with 16 RBIs. You want to keep him off the base paths if possible. He's got 24 steals this year. He checks his swing and bounces it to third base. Picked up by a charging Wolf. The throw to first gets away from Eric Maffey, and Alexander heads on down to second base. He might be thinking about third. He is. He tries for third base and makes it in. Tag comes in late, and he was able to hold the bag. Wolf kept the tag on him. Or rather, Carraro covering third base kept the tag on him. But he did hold tight to third, and Alexander is aboard. Well, said you don't want him on base because he steals so many bags. You don't have to worry about that, probably. But it looked like they had him retired. Sandoval did his job. He got a check swing, grounder to third. The throw was not good from Wolf. Wolf's had some trouble throwing over to first base today. That's his second throwing error of the game. Mike Snow stands in and takes strike one over the inside corner. The throw was low, but it was in range for Maffey, and he just wasn't able to make the pick. There's a suicide squeeze, bunted back to the mound. Sandoval flips it home and does not get the out. And it's a perfectly executed squeeze for St. Ambrose, a 2-1 score. Sandoval probably had an easy play at first base. With a 2-run lead and still only in the fifth inning, I am very surprised he didn't just take the out and concede the run. That was kind of a desperation flip to the plate for him. It's a fielder's choice. No official at bat for Snow, and RBI on the sacrifice bunt. Nate Villagomez loops it down the right field line. It's a foul ball. Just barely foul, nearly big trouble for St. Francis. Instead, it's strike one on Villagomez. So no hits this inning, a 3-base error on Jonathan Wolf. And then the suicide squeeze delivered by Mike Snow. Snow reaches first base on the fielder's choice as Sandoval flipped it home instead of going to first. So a runner on, 1 out. Villagomez is behind in the count, 0-1. Throw to first base to check on the runner. Runner goes, pitch is swung on, grounded through the whole left side. A base hit for Villagomez on a hit and run. Not sure if it was designed hit and run or not, but Villagomez hit it exactly to the area vacated by Noah Carraro, who was going to cover second base. Couldn't have drawn it up any better. And that's right after the suicide squeeze. This has been like a fundamentals manual offensively for St. Ambrose this inning. Not so for St. Francis. The error is what started this rally, and then the poor decision from Sandoval to throw home has kept it going. Here's Zaitera. Adrian Zaitera has not been retired yet today as he pops this one foul back behind the plate and into the second row of seating. Strike one. Zaitera is 2 for 2. He had 2/3 of the hits that his team had procured today prior to a moment ago. Now he's got half of his team's hits. Or 0-1 rather, from Sandoval to Zaitera. That misses inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sandoval had retired 5 in a row, and 12 of the last 13 prior to the error. The wheels have come off since then. 1-1. Zaitera takes ball 2. St. Francis still has the lead. It's 2-1. But it is a very precarious lead now. Tying run at second base, the go-ahead run at first here in the bottom of the 5th. Sandoval is set, the 2-1 pitch. Fouled away. It's 2-2. Sean Rigsby is on deck. Still just 1 out in the inning. Sandoval is hoping for a ground ball. He's gotten a lot of them today. The majority of his outs have been ground ball outs, and the majority of the hits for St. Ambrose have been ground ball hits. Sandoval would prefer the former here. It's a fly ball instead. Shallow left center field. Coming in, Jake Vera makes a nice sliding grab. Nope, he dropped the ball. He throws into third base looking for the force, and he doesn't get it. Close play at third. Mike Snow held up thinking that ball was going to be caught. I thought that ball had been caught. But Vera could not hang on. The poorest defensive inning for St. Francis continues. Snow up to third, Villagomez to second, and Zaitera is at first. That one a hit for St. Ambrose. So I say it's a poorest defensive inning, and it is by any measure. But it's hard to say that Jake Vera should have caught that ball. It was in his glove. And he certainly could have made the play. But it turns into a single, very nearly a fielder's choice. But a hair late at third base. And now they're loaded with only 1 down for Sean Rigsby. So just moments ago, St. Francis appeared to be in the driver's seat in this game. They were up 2-0. Sandoval was on cruise control. He retired the leadoff batter of the inning. And then we saw Kyle Alexander reach on an error. And nothing's been the same ever since. The entire infield gathers on the pitcher's mound, trying to settle Sandoval in here. Making his final regular season start as a member of the Fighting Saints pitching staff, his 43rd career start in 5 years, a former all-conference selection. He may get another shot to start a game for St. Francis, depending on how far the Fighting Saints make it in next week's conference tournament. Starts just 5 days from today on this field. Seeding will be determined by this game. Currently, St. Ambrose is number 2 in the conference, St. Francis number 3, but they're just a half game apart. First pitch strike on Sean Rigsby, who dropped down a bunt single in the first inning. Struck out looking in the third. Snow's at third, Villagomez at second. Zaitaro, actually a pinch runner for Villagomez at second. Zaitaro at first. There's a grounder to short. Carraro scoops it up, throws to second for 1. McGuire to first, and the inning is over. So both teams now have gotten out of bases loaded jams with double plays. 6-4-3, and down go the Bees in the 5th. They do get 1 on 2 hits and an error. They leave 2. On our way to the 6th, St. Francis still on top. It's 2-1. It's the top of the 6th. St. Francis still has the lead. It's a narrow one now, 2-1, as St. Ambrose was able to get on the board in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Jake Lasota leads off the 6th, batting for the first time with nobody on base today. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI single. And he moves ahead in the count 1-0 to start his 3rd at bat of the game. Lasota, Ketchum, and McGuire due up. Line shot to left field, a base hit for Lasota, his 2nd hit of the game. And for the first time today, the Saints have a man aboard with nobody out. That brings up Luke Ketchum. Francis Quinn overall has been good today, but he has not had a clean inning yet. Saints have had at least one base runner in all 6 innings. They've had at least one hit in 5 out of 6. Scott Tumulty is the runner at first base. Luke Ketchum drops a beautiful bunt down the 3rd base line. No play anywhere. It's a bunt single. And there are 2 on with nobody out. Back-to-back hits for St. Francis open up this 6th inning. Luke Ketchum this season has 12 homers. He's got 13 doubles. He's a power hitter, slugging nearly 700 on the season. And obviously Brendan Butler was not expecting him to drop down a bunt, but it was a beauty. And now there are 2 on base as John McGuire comes up. Now St. Ambrose is expecting the bunt. They nearly got it. It's a strike instead. McGuire did square to bunt. Decided to take the pitch. He's 2 for 2 today with a couple of singles. Ketchum at first, Tumulty at second. Quinn on the mound. The right-hander's 0-1. McGuire gets the bunt down this time. 3rd base side, another perfect bunt. And the bases are loaded. You could not have 2 better bunts than those last 2 from Ketchum and McGuire. Back-to-back bunt singles. And you could see as Francis Quinn picked that ball up, he kind of slouched his shoulders a little bit in frustration. There's just nothing more that he could have done. On those last 2 at-bats, Ketchum and McGuire just dropped him out there as perfectly as they could. And now big trouble for St. Ambrose. They just got back into the game, and now down by 1. Sam Tumulty has a chance to put them down by a lot more. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Scott Tumulty is at 3rd base. Luke Ketchum's at 2nd. John McGuire at first. 3 straight singles. St. Francis now has 10 hits in the game. Twice the number of St. Ambrose. Ball outside, 1-1. There's a ground ball foul past 3rd base. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Sam Tumulty with nobody out in the inning. For the 2nd time today, the Saints have loaded the bases. Last time they didn't score thanks to a double play. This time even a double play wouldn't be the worst thing because it would mean a run, presuming it's a typical 2nd and 1st double play. The infield playing in at 1st and 3rd as Tumulty strikes out swinging. That's a big out. First one of the inning, first strikeout for Quinn since way back in the 3rd. It's his 5th of the game, and he will face Jake Vera with the bags full and 1 down. Vera is 1 for 1. Came up as a pinch hitter in the 4th inning and drove in the 2nd run of the game for St. Francis on a single. He bunts first base side. That's a good bunt. It's picked up by Huckabone, and he has no play. An RBI bunt single for Jake Vera. It's 3-1 St. Francis. The Fighting Saints have 3 bunt hits in the inning. Doesn't get a whole lot more frustrating than that for a pitcher like Francis Quinn, who is pitching a good ball game and has been fine this inning, but has seen 4 guys get on base. 3 of them have just dropped down picture-perfect bunts. 2nd hit, 2nd RBI of the game for Vera, who's got 29 of them now overall. Here's Jonathan Wolf. They've got Quinn on the ropes here. Nobody is warming up in St. Ambrose's bullpen. Again, Quinn hasn't really been bad this inning, hasn't done anything amiss. Just given up 3 bunt singles. Now Jonathan Wolf bunts. He pushes it to the first base side. Picked up by Quinn, and Quinn has no play on Wolf. Another bunt base hit for St. Francis. And it's now 4-1. The bases are still loaded. Their 4th base runner of the inning on a bunt. This one not quite as pretty as some of the other bunts, but nobody covered first base. Huckabone went after the ball, the first baseman, and the second baseman, Mike Snow, who was playing at double play depth, never got over to cover the bag. So 4 bunt hits in the inning for St. Francis. 2 runs are in, and now they've got their biggest lead of the game at 3. What a weird inning it's been. I can honestly say I don't think I've ever seen 4 bunt singles in the same inning before. Again, that Ketchum hit and the McGuire hit down the third base line, 2 of the better executed bunts you'll ever see. McGuire's was a sacrifice attempt, but he reached base because it was just placed so well. No throw was even made on either of those. And then Jake Vera dropped down a beauty down the first base line. Jonathan Wolf's bunt ended up placing perfectly between the pitcher and the first baseman. Nobody covered the bag. And so Wolf picks up an RBI. That's Jonathan Wolf's 15th run knocked in this year. Here's John Peterson. Let's see if he's bunting. Corner men are in, the middle men are back. Second baseman Snow playing closer to first than to second right now as Wolf takes a ball high. Or rather, Peterson takes a ball high. Snow, rather than playing in the usual double play position, is putting himself in a spot where he can cover first if need be. 1-0. It hits him. And Peterson is aboard on the hit by pitch, an RBI hit by pitch. It's now 5-1. Still just 1 out in the inning. John Peterson has an RBI. That's number 13 this season for him. 3 runs are in the 6th. Vera up to third. Wolf is at second. And here's Noah Carraro. Carraro is 1 for 3 with a single today. He bunts down the third base line. Charging Butler, gloves, throws. In time, just barely. Close play at first base. The Saints nearly had their 5th bunt hit of the inning. They don't get that, but what they do get is their 4th run of the inning. It's 6-1. Vera comes in to score. And the batter is Eric Maffey. Maffey is the 9th man to hit this inning. The Saints have had exactly 1 hit this frame in which they've swung away. Maffey drives it hard but fouled to the left side. Strike 1. Maffey doubled and scored back in the 3rd inning. This time he pops it up. Shallow center field. Both middle infielders go back on it. It's the second baseman Snow making the grab and retiring the side. But not before the Saints score 4 runs on 4 bunt hits. 5 hits total. They leave 2. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning. 6-1. St. Francis on top. Biggest lead of the afternoon for St. Francis as they lead St. Ambrose 6-1. Starting the bottom of the 6th inning. First pitch from Angel Sandoval is a strike over the outside corner on Bryce Vincent. Vincent is the shortstop for St. Ambrose. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of groundouts. He grounds this one to the shortstop. Carraro is able to fall on top of it and throw it over to first for the out. Well, it looked like it had some weird spin on it. Took an odd hop, but no problem for the veteran shortstop. 1 up, 1 down in the 6th. The leadoff man has been retired now in 5 consecutive innings by Angel Sandoval, and he'll face Cooper Huckabone with 1 out and the bases empty. Huckabone is 0 for 2. He's grounded out and flown out. He and his Fighting B teammates have a lot of work to do here. Strike 1 called on Huckabone. They were down just 2 runs. The last time they came to bat in the bottom of the 5th inning, they scored 1 and loaded the bases. And they were threatening to take over the game as Huckabone flies it into deep center field. Long run back, Luke Ketchum. Ketchum is at the warning track, and it's gone. Solo home run for Cooper Huckabone. I've been talking all game about making sure he bats with nobody on base, and the Saints will be thankful here that that is the case this time around. It is just a solo home run, but for Huckabone, it's number 11 on the season and number 44 in terms of RBIs for this year. 6-2. Still a 4-run lead for St. Francis. Their big top half of the 6th continues to pay dividends as Brendan Butler fouls back the first pitch for strike 1. As I was saying, it was 2-0 in the bottom of the 5th. St. Ambrose got a run, and then they loaded the bases with only 1 out. It looked like they were set to tie, maybe take the lead, and certainly seize the momentum. But the Saints got out of the inning with a double play. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. And then at the top of the 6th, they scored 4 runs to pull away. Still a long way to go in this game. 6-2 is not a death sentence for St. Ambrose, but Saints are in good position. There's a line drive into left center field. That ball drops in front of Ketchum for a base hit. Back-to-back hits for St. Ambrose. They've now got 7 of them for the game. And a man is aboard with 1 out for Max Rumpf. First hit for Butler. Like Butler, Rumpf is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out to third. They did it in reverse orders. Butler grounded out to third in his first at bat and struck out in his second. Rumpf was the other way around. And now Butler is going to be allowed to move over to second base, so Balk allows the runner to advance, takes the double play out of order, and St. Ambrose's dugout starting to make some noise again. Runner at second, 1 down. Rumpf is still awaiting the first pitch. So the Balk started the at-bat. Swing and a miss for strike 1. The St. Ambrose bullpen is active now. St. Francis's is not. The starting pitcher, Francis Quinn, was on the mound for the entire 4-run rally in the top of the 6th. Popped foul and out of play. 0-2. Francis Quinn's numbers aren't going to look good at the end of the day today. He hasn't looked bad himself. But anytime you give up 4 bunt hits in 1 inning, your stats start to go in the wrong direction. The 0-2 misses up and away. Ball 1. One and 2. Fly ball into right field. Routine for Sam Tumulty. He makes the grab for the second out. Butler tags from second. Decides not to try for third, though. 2 outs. And the last hope is Kyle Alexander. 1 run is already in this inning for St. Ambrose. They got the solo homer from Cooper Huckabone, who now officially has more than half of his team's home runs. 11 of them. The team has 21. Kyle Alexander has none, but he does have a run scored today. He's 0 for 2. Ground out to third base in the second inning. Reached on an error, and eventually came around to score the first run of the game for the Fighting Bees just last inning. He takes strike one. Butler singled. Moved to second on a balk. He's there now with 2 outs. The 0-1 to Alexander. Line softly into right field. Tumulty comes in, makes the catch, and ends the inning. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left. We've played 6 out of 9 innings today. St. Francis leads St. Ambrose 6-2. We've made it into the 7th inning here with St. Francis holding on to a lead. They've never trailed in this game. Scored for the first time in the 3rd, added 1 in the 4th, 4 more in the 6th inning. Here in the 7th, they bring Jake Lasota to the plate to lead things off, and he takes ball 1 from Francis Quinn. Quinn looked good through 5, didn't look bad in the 6th, but he ran into some bad luck. Gave up 4 runs. He comes out for his 7th inning of work and misses inside on Lasota, 2-0. Jake Lasota rifled a single into left field to begin the last inning. That was the last hard hit ball of the inning, but thanks to 4 bunt singles, Saints ended up bringing in 4 runs. Lasota pops this one up on the infield. Cooper Huckabone comes in. Butler comes in. Near collision, but Huckabone made the catch. Huckabone and Butler were both there. Nate Villagomez, the catcher, came in on it, or he came out on it, I guess, from the catcher's position. And Huckabone and Villagomez nearly ran into each other. Butler right on top of them. Somehow Huckabone was able to stick that ball in his glove. That would have been a fair ball if it had dropped. Could have been a disaster for St. Ambrose, but instead it's the first out of the inning, and it brings up Luke Ketchum. Ketchum checks his swing. He went around. That's strike 1. Luke Ketchum's 1 for 3 with a bunt hit today. His was the first of the 4 bunt singles last inning. Ball low and away, 1-1. There's a called strike. It's 1-2. John McGuire is on deck. Saints try to add to their lead heading into the stretch. Now McGuire, or rather Ketchum, is hit by the pitch. He reaches base for the 2nd time today. Second batter that Francis Quinn has hit with a pitch today. That's the 16th man that he has hit this year. That's a huge number in his 47 innings pitched. And it's been a detriment to him considering how good he's been otherwise. So those weird that weird habit of hitting batters, considering he has had good control aside from that. Ball one high on John McGuire. I think a guy who typically has good control wouldn't have such a huge issue hitting batters, but that has been the case for him this year. Strike called, 1-1. Ball high. 2-1 the count on John McGuire. McGuire's not been retired today. He's 3 for 3, 3 singles, 1 run scored. Trying to add to this 4-run lead. Fouled back, still, or rather 2-2 now, sorry. 2-2 the count. Luke Ketchum standing over at first base ensures that once again Francis Quinn will not have a perfect inning. He hasn't had one yet today. He did face the minimum back in the 5th thanks to a caught stealing. But he has constantly been pitching with runners on base. 2-2. Gets away from the catcher Villagomez and allows Ketchum to move to second. Full count on John McGuire. Thanks to the wild pitch, Luke Ketchum now stands in scoring position. Sam Tumulty waits on deck. Big pitch coming up here from Quinn. And he paints the outside corner for strike 3. 2 down, a huge strikeout for Francis Quinn. Number 6 for him today. And now if he can retire Sam Tumulty, he can put a 0 on the scoreboard for the 4th time today. Sam Tumulty is 1 for 3 with a single. Back in the 4th inning, he reached on a fielder's choice, stole a bag, and scored a run. Ball 1 inside on Tumulty. Next pitch from Quinn. Low and inside. Ball 2. Lasota popped out. Ketchum was hit by a pitch. McGuire struck out. That's what's happened so far this inning. Ketchum did advance to second base on a wild pitch, so he stands there now with 2 down. 2 out scoring has been St. Francis's forte today. Fouled back. Count is 2-1. Next pitch misses inside. 3 balls and a strike on Tumulty. If he reaches base, Vera will bat next. Quinn hasn't walked anybody since the 2nd inning, just 1 walk total in the game. Trying to keep Sam Tumulty off the bases. The 3-1 pitch, righty to righty. Ground ball to the shortstop. Vincent's got to get rid of it quickly. He does, and he beats Tumulty by half a step. The inning is over. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left at second base. Time to stretch here in Joliet. 6-2, St. Francis. Mike Snow takes strike one as we're underway in the bottom of the 7th inning. Angel Sandoval is still on the mound for St. Francis, pitching one of his better games so far this year. Sandoval, through 6 innings, has allowed just 2 runs on 7 hits. Ball high, 1-1. Gave up a solo homer to Cooper Huckabone in the 6th. The run he allowed in the 5th inning was unearned. And if you take away that 5th inning, it really has just been that one pitch to Huckabone that's hurt him. Other than that, he's been brilliant. And I always say this, you can't actually take away the 5th inning, but even that inning, most of his problems were not his own fault. There were some defensive mistakes behind him. One of the defensive mistakes was his own as well. Strike called 1-2, but that holds no reflection on his pitching. 6-2, the Fighting Saints lead. They lead behind Sandoval's pitching in a big offensive top of the 6th when they scored 4 runs on 5 hits. Popped up foul and out of play. Still 1-2. It's Mike Snow, Nate Villagomez, and Adrian Zaitara due up this inning. Snow is 0 for 1 with an RBI today. Grounded out in the 3rd inning. Brought home a run on a suicide squeeze his last time up. 1-2 pitch, up high, ball 2. Sandoval's pitch count is getting up there, but as this is potentially his last ever collegiate start, I don't think that's that huge a concern right now. Up and in, and it looks like maybe it got his bat. That's, I think, what happened. Another foul ball. It's happened a couple of times today that a pitch has come up and in. Or is it 3-2? So apparently that missed everything, and it is ball 3. I was going to say there's been a few times where we've seen pitches come up and in nearly hit batters and get their bat instead, but that missed everything. Just deflected off the catcher's mitt, that's all. Fouled away, still 3-2. You'll see an 8th pitch. St. Ambrose trying to get their leadoff man on base for the first time since the 1st inning. But instead, it's strike 3 called. Sandoval picks up the strikeout, his 4th today. And he does get the leadoff man for the 6th straight inning. 1 down for Nate Villagomez. Villagomez is 1 for 2 with a single. He bats for the 3rd time, 1 out, nobody on base. And he takes the ball high. There's a drive down the left field line, cutting foul and out of play. It's 1-1. Popped foul back behind home plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. So far, 2 out of 3 games in this series, St. Francis pitchers have completely neutralized a very good St. Ambrose offense. Fly ball into right field. Tumulty moves over on it and makes the grab for the 2nd out. They're 7 outs away here from a victory. And just 1 earned run allowed by Sandoval after Nick Villasenor yesterday shut him out for 7 innings. Villasenor pitched a complete game shutout, the first of his St. Francis career in his last regular season start. Villasenor will almost certainly get at least 1 start still in his collegiate career as Sandoval misses outside for ball 1 on Zaitera. He'll start one of the first games in the conference tournament next week. Sandoval will be on that list too, but it depends on how far they make it. Strike called, 1-1 on Zaitera. Adrian Zaitera has not been retired today. He's 3 for 3. He's got 43% of St. Ambrose's hits today. Ball outside, 2-1. popped up back behind home plate. And off the window here. It's 2-2. Sandoval's one strike away from a perfect seventh inning. He's had 2 1-2-3 innings today, the second and the fourth. But this has been the bane of his appearance right here, Zaitera. Trying to get him for the first time. Ground ball up the middle, ranging to his left. Carraro gloves it behind second base, throws to first, and it's not in time. It's an infield single for Adrian Zaitera, his 4th hit of the game. Zaitera's got good speed. Carraro's throw pulled Maffey off the bag, but was well late anyway. On a slowly hit ground ball. So 4 hits for Zaitera today. They've all been singles. None of them have resulted in runs scoring. We'll see if Sandoval can keep it that way at least. Sean Rigsby bats for the 4th time. With the runner on the move, Rigsby takes a strike, and Zaitera steals second base. No throw made by Jake Lasota. Great jump from Zaitera. So again, Sandoval has to pitch through a little bit of trouble. Runner at second. There are 2 outs. 0-1 on Rigsby, who grounded into a double play his last time up. Rigsby is 1 for 3 in the game. Diving play. John McGuire at second base. Gets up, throws to first, and ends the inning. Rigsby is retired 4-3. Great defensive effort by John McGuire to save a run and keep this lead at 4. We head to the 8th, 6-2, St. Francis. Jake Vera is the leadoff hitter for St. Francis in the top of the 8th inning. Saints have led most of the way here, trying to add some late insurance against Francis Quinn, the starter who remains in. His first pitch is fouled off for strike 1 on Vera. Vera, the number 8 hitter in the lineup today, pinch hit for Alex Martinez. Back in the 4th inning after Martinez got the start at second base. Vera came into play left, shuffled a few defenders around, and since coming in, he's gone 2 for 2 with 2 RBI singles. And has scored a run, too. 1-1 on Vera. There's a called strike, 1-2. Vera, Wolf, and Peterson, the 8, 9, and 1 batters due up this inning. Francis Quinn sets, trying to put Vera away. He does just that. A swing and a miss. And the leadoff man is retired in the 8th. Jake Vera is retired for the first time today. 7 strikeouts in the ball game for Francis Quinn. Here's Jonathan Wolf. Wolf picked up an RBI bunt single in the 6th. He's 1 for 3 in the game. One of 4 guys with a bunt single that inning. Bouncer foul, strike 1. 3 straight have been retired by Francis Quinn as Wolf pops it off to the right side, foul towards St. Francis' bullpen, but over the fence onto the berm. Strike 2. He's retired 6 of the last 7 batters. That was after that disastrous, I guess it wasn't after, it started in that disastrous 6th inning. He gave up 3 straight singles, then got an out, and then 3 straight base runners again, 2 singles and a hit by pitch. And the game was really unraveling on him. The bases were loaded with only 1 out, and then he settled in. He retired the last 2 batters of that inning and has been strong ever since. Wolf takes a ball in the dirt, 1-2. We're in Joliet today, but it's a home game for St. Ambrose, who came in from Iowa earlier this week and are playing all 3 games of this series here. Schedule's changed a few times. It was originally a single game yesterday, a doubleheader today. Due to the weather, that was flip-flopped. 1-2. Hit in the air, shallow right. Backing up is Mike Snow. Now into center field. Snow gives way to Bryce Vincent, and Vincent makes the catch for the second out. Back to the top of the order, and John Peterson. The rain has actually held off today. It rained all morning. We were supposed to get thunderstorms in the afternoon. They're still probably coming in, but not, it looks like, till after this thing is over. John Peterson is 0 for 3 with an RBI on a hit by pitch. Grounds the first pitch out to left field here, and he's got his first hit. Second time on base today. A 2-out single for Peterson. And then Quinn still does not have a 1-2-3 inning. He's given up at least 1 hit in 7 out of 8 innings. And at least 1 base runner in every inning so far. The fact that St. Ambrose is the home team in this game is significant now for St. Francis, knowing that usually when they're hitting on this field in the 8th inning with the lead, they're getting set to wrap the game up. Ball 1 low. Just trying to add some final insurance runs. But in this case, actually, they will bat again in the 9th. So this is not their last chance to score some runs. 1-0 on Noah Carraro, who is 1 for 4 in the game. Line drive in a left center field. That's a gapper for Carraro, a base hit. Rolls all the way to the wall. Peterson is going to score all the way from first base on the play. Noah Carraro's got an RBI double. And our score is 7-2. Second time today that St. Francis has had the bases empty with 2 outs and turned it into a run. 2-out scoring has been big for the Fighting Saints today. For Noah Carraro, it's the 2nd RBI of the game and the 33rd of the season, and that'll do it for Francis Quinn. 7 2/3 innings pitched for Quinn today, and he pitched better than his numbers would indicate, but doesn't matter on the stat sheet. He is in line for the loss today. We'll take a break. I'll tell you about the new pitcher in just a moment. Saints by 5 in the top of the 8th inning. Top of the 8th inning, the Saints are threatening to run away with this game. It's been close for most of the way, but their 4-run 6th inning created some distance. And now the lead is back to 5 with an insurance run in the 8th. Eric Maffey comes up with 2 outs and a runner on second, facing a new pitcher. That new pitcher is Parker Ruth. Ruth is making his 9th appearance this year. Make that his 7th appearance this year. He's 1-1 with a 6.48 ERA. Ruth in 8 1/3 innings has allowed 6 runs on 10 hits, 11 strikeouts, 2 walks. He's ahead of Eric Maffey, 0-1. Maffey is 1 for 4 with a double so far today. He grounds this one to second base. Picked up by Mike Snow. The throw to first is in time. Maffey is retired. So are the Saints in the 8th. But not before they score 1 run on back-to-back 2-out hits. They leave a man at second. We go to the bottom of the 8th. St. Ambrose is running out of time. They trail 7-2. It's the bottom of the 8th inning. St. Francis holds a 5-run lead, and Angel Sandoval's day is done. Sandoval went 7 innings and allowed just 1 earned run, 2 runs total. He is in line for his 3rd victory of the year, and he's replaced by the freshman Dane McDonald. McDonald on for the 10th time this year. He has no record and a 6.97 ERA. He faces Bryce Vincent to lead off the inning and fires a strike. McDonald in 10 1/3 innings this year has allowed 10 runs, 8 of them earned on 19 hits with 8 strikeouts and 3 walks. Trying to hold on to a 5-run edge here. McDonald's next pitch misses high to Vincent, and the count evens up 1-1. Vincent has grounded out 3 times today. The number 3 hitter in St. Ambrose's batting order swings and misses for strike 2. Vincent a .340 hitter this season. He's one of 3 players in today's starting lineup hitting .340 or better. And yet the offense has been pretty silent throughout the game. Ground ball to third. Jonathan Wolf throws to first. 1 away. 4 ground outs now for Bryce Vincent. The leadoff man has not reached for St. Ambrose since way back in the first. Here's Cooper Huckabone. Huckabone is 1 for 3. The 1 hit was a big one, a solo home run back in the top, or rather the bottom of the 6th. He hits this ball hard to deep left field, but right at Jake Vera, who takes a step back and makes the grab. 2 down. Vera had to get back on that in a hurry. It was hit right to where he was. He only had to take about a step and a half in order to make the grab, but it was hit so hard it still almost cleared his head. 2 up, 2 down against Dane McDonald. Looking for the perfect inning, he faces Brendan Butler. Butler takes ball 1 inside. Brendan Butler today is 1 for 3. He singled in the 6th inning. Hard liner up the middle. Carraro dives for it, but it's out of his reach. That's a base hit for Brendan Butler, his 2nd hit in as many at-bats. 9th hit of the game for St. Ambrose. And with 2 outs, a base runner in front of Max Rumpf. Rumpf is 0 for 3 today. He struck out, flown out, and grounded out, all against Angel Sandoval. Final numbers on Sandoval today. In 7 innings pitched, he allowed 2 runs, 1 of them earned. He gave up 8 hits. Didn't walk anybody, and he struck out 4 in his last regular season collegiate start. As for whether or not he'll pitch again for the Fighting Saints in the postseason, we'll find out next week. 1-1 on Max Rumpf. Look over to the runner at first base. McDonald turns back to the box, fires the pitch in. Rumpf drives it into left center field. It finds the gap and hits the warning track. Here's Butler stumbling around third base. He has to head back to third. And that prevents a run from scoring. It looked like it was going to be an RBI double for Max Rumpf. Instead, it turns out to be a double, no RBI. Runners at second and third, 2 outs. And Kyle Alexander will try to get this run in. At least 1. He may be gunning for more than that. It's a 7-2 score, so the 2 runners on with 2 outs here in the 8th inning are not a huge concern for McDonald, but still he'd like to keep it at 5 runs. So he gets a visit on the mound. Alexander gets set to bat. That ball from Rumpf flew into left center field right in between Vera and Carraro, or rather Vera and Ketchum. And it looked like for sure it was going to result in a run scoring. Brendan Butler never slowed down around third base, but that was the problem. He tripped over his own feet, ended up falling to the ground, and fortunately for the Saints, he was unable to score. Fortunately for the Bees, he was not so far from third base that he wasn't able to get up and scamper back to the bag, because otherwise he could have been looking at getting caught in a rundown. That was not the case. Instead, he's at third. Rumpf is at second. Alexander stands in. First pitch in the dirt. Lasota couldn't find it for a moment, but it never left the batter's box. It stayed right there near home plate. And so nobody's able to advance. They remain at second and third. 1-0 on Kyle Alexander. A base hit here could make this a 3-run game. Alexander takes the ball outside. Alexander does not have a base hit today. He's 0 for 3. However, in the 5th, he reached on an error and later came around to score. Two and 0. Strike over the outside corner. It's 2-1. 2 outs. Dane McDonald got off to a hot start this inning. He retired the first 2 batters he faced. But now struggling to get that third out. Alexander chops it foul. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. 5-run lead for St. Francis. It's the bottom of the 8th inning. McDonald is trying to hold this lead exactly where it is. The pitch inside nearly got him. It's 3-2. Big pitch from McDonald to Alexander coming up here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and there's ball 4. The bases are loaded. First walk issued by St. Francis this afternoon. Sandoval did not give one out in his 7 innings. But Alexander is aboard now to load the bases in front of Mike Snow. Snow is a good hitter, 298 average, 431 on base percentage, hitting near the bottom of the order for St. Ambrose. Very dangerous moment now. This game appeared to be pretty well in hand, but that is no longer the case. There's a high fly, shallow right field. Tumulty comes in, McGuire goes back. John McGuire makes the catch. Spinning around, the second baseman was able to locate it and put it away. So the Saints go back to looking pretty comfortable now as they get out of the big bases loaded jam in the bottom of the 8th. We've got 1 inning still to play. Our score is 7-2 in favor of the Fighting Saints. Seven to 2, St. Francis, top of the 9th inning. Fighting Saints trying one more time to add to their lead with Jake Lasota, Luke Ketchum, and John McGuire due up. They're facing Parker Ruth, who starts his first inning and gets a swing and a miss from Lasota for strike 1. Ruth came on with a man at second base and 2 outs in the top of the 8th. He threw 2 pitches, got Eric Maffey to ground out, and that was that. Ball downstairs, 1-1. So now the freshman Ruth gets a fresh start to an inning for the first time, facing a very tough part of this St. Francis batting order, although there aren't very many easy parts of the order for the team that has been among the best in the conference in offense throughout this season. Lasota moves ahead in the count, 2-1. Fighting Saints came in with a .312 overall team batting average, much higher than that if you don't include non-conference games. Strike called, 2-2. They score better than 6.5 runs per game, and they've done that again today as Lasota smacks a single into right center. 15th hit of the game for the Fighting Saints. Lasota has 3 now. He's 3 for 5. And he'll depart. Scott Tumulty will come in as the pinch runner. Luke Ketchum will come in as the batter. Ketchum is 1 for 3 with a single, a hit by pitch, and 1 run scored.
Number 20, Luke Ketchum.
First pitch to Ketchum, up high, ball 1. Ketchum's been a little bit quiet today. Struck out and grounded out to the pitcher in his first 2 at-bats, but he dropped down a bunt single in the 6th. It was his idea first. 3 more guys did that inning. This time he flies out to right field and into the glove of Adrian Zaitera, 1 away. Tumulty remains at first base with one out, and it's John McGuire's turn to hit. McGuire bats for the 5th time. He tries to get on base for the 4th. He's 3 for 4, 3 singles and a strikeout. Runner on the move. The pitch is in the dirt and all the way to the backstop. Tumulty didn't recognize it. If he had seen that that ball had gotten away from the catcher, he would have been able to take third base, I think. But as it is, he'll take second and be happy with it. A stolen base for Scott Tumulty, his 14th this season. No wild pitch because the pitcher, or the runner rather, was on the move. It's 1-0 on John McGuire. Swing and a miss, 1-1. That one clips the outside corner. 1-2, 1 out, a runner at second base, a 5-run lead for St. Francis. There have been 25 total hits in this game. 15 for the Saints, 10 for the Fighting Bees. Not a whole lot of walks. Similar to Game 2 yesterday, ball low and away, 2-2. A lot of runs on a lot of hits, but that's to be expected with these two offenses. Both hitting better than 300 as a team for the year. Two-two. McGuire flies it into center field. Alexander moves to his left. Alexander makes the catch. Tumulty tags from second, trying for third, and the throw is cut off. So he makes it to third safely on the fly out. 2 down, and Sam Tumulty will bat for the 5th time.
Right fielder, number 40, Sam Tumulty.
Sam Tumulty is 1 for 4 with a single and a run scored. He's also stolen a base. Looking for his first RBI of the game right here. He's got 15 of them for the year. He takes a strike. Saints scored a run in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 4 in the 6th, and 1 in the 8th. Bees got 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th. 1-1 on Sam Tumulty, 2 outs and a man at third base. We've already seen Parker Ruth uncork one to the backstop. Scott Tumulty be on the lookout for that at third as he tries to score the 8th run. Fought off foul to the right side, 1-2. Ground ball, third base side and foul. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes on Sam Tumulty. Biggest lead of the game for St. Francis has been 5. They were up 6-1 earlier, now 7-2. St. Ambrose has not been able to make their run. Ball in the dirt, 2-2. Their best opportunity came in the 6th inning, or rather the 5th inning. When they had the bases loaded with only 1 out at the time, they were down by only 1 run. But a double play knocked them out of it. 2-2 on Sam Tumulty. He grounds it to third base. Gathered cleanly by Butler. The throw to first gets away from Huckabone. Tumulty is safe. The other Tumulty scores, and Sam heads down to second. An error on the third baseman, Brendan Butler, helps St. Francis push their lead up to 8-2, their biggest advantage now of the game. Here's Jake Vera. Vera is 2 for 3 with a couple of RBI singles and a strikeout. He swings at the first pitch and hits it foul for strike 1. Well, now that their lead is up to 6, St. Francis might want to start pumping the brakes. I say that just because the sun, which has joined us so graciously for much of today's game is starting to disappear again. You know that there's more rain coming in. As long as you got a 6-run lead, you might as well just get to the bottom of the ninth. Try to get those final 3 outs before it starts falling again. Here's a high fly hit out to right field shallow and into foul territory. Towards the bullpen, a running grab made by Adrian Zaitera. Nice play by Zaitera. It looked like that was going to drop out of his reach, but Zaitera never slowed down, running straight into the wall. He makes a basket catch. Beautifully done by Zaitera. It does come, however, after another 2-out run scores for St. Francis, as Sam Tumulty reaches on the error and brings in the 8th run of the game. We head to the bottom of the 9th. St. Francis 3 outs away from the win, up by 6. New pitcher for St. Francis, trying to lock it down. An 8-2 lead for the Fighting Saints. And they bring on the senior Nick Clemens for his final regular season performance. Clemens on for the 16th time. He's 1-1 with a 2.63 ERA. In 13 2/3 innings, he's allowed 6 runs, 4 of them earned on 12 hits with 11 walks and 11 strikeouts. Clemens faces the number 9 batter, Nate Villagomez, to lead things off. He throws in strike 1. Villagomez, Zaitera, and Rigsby due up against Clemens, who is the 3rd St. Francis pitcher of the day. Dane McDonald pitched to the 8th after 7 excellent innings from Angel Sandoval. Grounder to 3rd. Jonathan Wolf smothers it. Wolf's throw to first is in time for the first out. Back to the top of the order. Adrian Zaitera.
Right fielder, number 2, Adrian Zaitera.
Zaitera has not been retired. The one thing that Sandoval couldn't shake free of in what was otherwise an outstanding game for him. Zaitera went 4 for 4 against Sandoval. Strike 1 called here. Sandoval allowed only 8 total hits in 7 innings, and 4 of them belonged to this guy. Zaitera has stolen a base twice, but he has not scored a run. In fact, he's never even made it to 3rd. Swing and a miss, tried to check himself and couldn't. It's 0-2. One out, nobody on base. Clemens trying to make it 2 straight outs to begin the bottom of the 9th. Clemens came in after Dane McDonald pitched the 8th. In that 8th inning, McDonald allowed 2 hits and a walk. No strikeouts. Most importantly, no runs allowed. The Bees left the bases loaded in the 8th. Zaitera takes a ball outside, 1-2. Next time out there for St. Francis will be Thursday on this field. CCAC tournament begins next weekend. 1-2. Ground ball weakly hit right side. Eric Maffey grabs it, steps on first base. Finally, Zaitera is retired. He's 4 for 5 now. And with 2 outs and the bases empty, Sean Rigsby is the Fighting Bees' final hope for today. Rigsby is 1 for 4. His hit came way back in the first inning. And now he is St. Ambrose's only hope for a miracle comeback, down by 6 runs with 2 outs in the ninth. Ball 1 outside. 1-0 on Rigsby. If he reaches, Bryce Vincent will bat next. Clemens trying to end the game right here, though. The 1-0 pitch. Misses the outside corner. 2 balls and no strikes. St. Francis is trying to move 3 games above 500. The plateau they have reached just once before. That was yesterday. 2-0 pitch, up and away, 3-0. They were below 500 all season until about 2 weeks ago. Finally reached that 500 mark, and now they've been kind of flirting with it for the last couple of weeks, trading wins and losses. They won yesterday to improve to 27 and 24, but then lost game 2 of the doubleheader to drop back to just 2 above the even mark. Strike called on Rigsby, 3-1. But a win here would guarantee a 500 or better record at the end of the season for them. 3-1. There's a line shot down the right field line. That's a fair ball. Rigsby's got his second hit of the game. It goes all the way down into the corner. Rigsby has 2 easily, motoring for third. The relay throw comes in from John McGuire. Close play at third. He's safe. Jonathan Wolf didn't think so. Close play, a very good relay throw from McGuire. And that nearly ended the game. A real head scratcher as to why Vincent went for third at all. There's no difference between second or third right now, down by multiple runs. So there's no sense in even running the risk of getting thrown out at third base, but he did, and it paid off as he just barely beat the tag. So a 2-out triple keeps the game alive in the bottom of the 9th inning. Here's Bryce Vincent. Sean Rigsby's got his 5th triple this season. Vincent is 0 for 4 today. And he takes the first pitch strike over the inside corner. Clemens trying to settle back in after giving up the 2-out 3-bagger. He's still just 1 out away from finishing it off as he misses high. 1-1 on Vincent. Clemens comes set. The right-hander delivers. A ball outside. 2-1. Clemens has had control issues throughout the season. 11 walks in 13 2/3 innings coming in. Looked sharp, though, to start this appearance. Got ahead of the first couple of hitters. Put him away quickly. Ground ball foul past third. 2-2, and he's gotten back into this at-bat now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. St. Ambrose is down to their final swing here. Vincent trying to keep the game alive for Cooper Huckabone. Clemens steps off the rubber. Now he's ready for the 2-2 pitch. Clemens, the senior, is set. Here's his pitch. Check swing on a ball in the dirt. On appeal, he did not go around. It's 3-2. Full count with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. It is a 6-run game. Nick Clemens, 3rd year Saint, getting ready to graduate. Trying to finish off the regular season here with a victory. The 3-2 pitch. Tapper just behind home plate into the glove of the catcher, Jake Lasota, on the bounce. Still 3-2. Vincent barely got a piece of that one. Another 3-2 pitch coming here. The 7th pitch of the at-bat. Ball in the dirt. He walked him. This has been kind of a theme in today's game for both sides. You get 2 outs with nobody on base, and then all of a sudden you start a little 2-out rally. St. Ambrose tried it in the 8th inning with 2 outs, nobody on, back-to-back hits, put runners at second and third, but they didn't score. Here in the 9th, with 2 outs, runners at first and third, thanks to a triple and a walk. But Clemens is still just 1 out away from ending the ball game. Cooper Huckabone is the batter. Huckabone is 1 for 4. Strike 1 over the inside corner. The 1 hit was his solo home run, his 11th of the season, to center field in the 6th inning. He crushed the ball his last time up, but lined out to left field. Now with the game on the line, the 0-1. Huckabone checks his swing. He takes a sweeper over the outside corner, and the count goes to 0-2. For the second time, St. Ambrose is down to their final strike. Vincent was able to work the walk and keep it alive. Can Huckabone keep this game going? Nick Clemens sets. Here's the right-hander's 0-2. Low and away, ball 1. It's been a busy week for St. Francis. This is their 7th game in the last 5 days. So far, they're 4-2. They're now trying to finish it strong with a 5-2 week. The 1-2 pitch from Clemens to Huckabone. Ball 2. It's turned into a lengthy inning for Nick Clemens. Got 2 quick outs, but this third one has been elusive. Credit to St. Ambrose. They are fighting till the very end. 23rd pitch of the inning from Clemens. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and there's your ball game. Huckabone can't lay off. Clemens strikes him out to end the ball game and to move St. Francis ahead of St. Ambrose and into 3rd place in the CCAC standings. Our final score today, St. Francis 8 and St. Ambrose 2. The Fighting Saints never trailed. They took the early lead, and then with a big 6th inning, they pulled away and ended up scoring all the way into the inning in order to come away with a series victory over St. Ambrose. They win 2 out of 3 against a tough Fighting Bees squad this weekend in Joliet. Let's go back over the scoring. It started in the 3rd inning, the top of the 3rd. St. Francis had 2 outs, nobody on. And Francis Quinn was rolling for St. Ambrose. He struck out the first 2 batters of the 3rd, but then Eric Maffey doubled. Jake Lasota singled him in. That made it 1-0. Then in the 4th inning, John McGuire singled. Sam Tumulty took his place on a fielder's choice. He stole second with 2 outs. And Tumulty stood at second base for Jake Vera, who came up as a pinch hitter and brought home the run with an RBI single. That made it a 2-0 lead, both of those runs having scored with 2 outs. Angel Sandoval was rolling along through 4 innings, ran into some trouble in the 5th as Kyle Alexander reached on a 3-base error with 1 out. Mike Snow came up next with a suicide squeeze bunt, scored Alexander, made it 2-1. Later that inning, St. Ambrose went on to load the bases. They loaded the bases with just 1 out, but Sandoval got Sean Rigsby to ground into a double play, and that ended that threat and kept the Fighting Saints ahead 2-1. And then they broke the game open in the top half of the next inning. They had 5 singles in the inning, 4 of them bunt hits. They turned that into 4 runs, and they pulled away to a 6-1 lead. Cooper Huckabone's solo homer in the bottom half of that inning made it 6-2. That's as close as the Fighting Bees would get the rest of the way. St. Francis added on with an RBI double from Noah Carraro in the 8th inning, and then a 2-out error in the 9th scored Jake Lasota, or rather scored Scott Tumulty, who was pinch running for Jake Lasota. Lasota had singled earlier in the inning. That made it 8-2, and that was the final score. The winning pitcher, Angel Sandoval, improves to 3-3. The loser, Francis Quinn, falls to 2-2. The Saints wrap up the regular season with a record of 28-25 overall. They go 22-8 in CCAC play, and that means they move ahead of St. Ambrose, who falls to 21-8 with the loss. The Fighting Bees are now 30-12 overall for this season. They've got 1 conference game still to play. For St. Francis, next time we see them will be Thursday in the conference tournament right here at Dooley Health and Care Field. The Fighting Saints will be playing throughout next weekend with the rest of their CCAC foes. Again, our final score today, St. Francis 8, St. Ambrose 2. It's Senior Day here in Joliet, and now that things have dried off and the game has completed, they're going to honor the seniors down on the field. That does it for me, though. Thanks for tuning in. That'll wrap up our St. Francis coverage of this regular season, but you'll be able to catch the entire CCAC tournament, all games, every team playing in that CCAC tournament through this USF Sports Network. So go, as always, to GoFightingSaints.com for any more updates as they become available. Terry Bonadonna here signing off from Joliet, Illinois for the University of St. Francis. The Fighting Saints win 8-2. I'll talk to you next time.
members of our University St. Francis baseball program. And we will start with number 2, Nick Clemens, and his mother, Donna Clemens. Nick is a transfer from Joliet Junior College. He's been with the team each of the past 3 years. During that time, he's appeared in 34 games with 2 starts and 32 relief appearances on the mound. He's having his best year this year with a 2.63 earned run average, a 1-1 record, and 1 save. Nick is a marketing major. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Clemens and his mother, Donna Clemens. Number 16, Hunter Darnell, and his parents, Terry and Jay Darnell. Hunter has been with the program each of the past 4 years since graduating from Aurora Central Catholic High School. Backup infielder who has appeared in 11 games over his 4-year career. He was named an all-conference, all-academic selection on 1 occasion. Hunter is a management major. Ladies and gentlemen, number 16, Hunter Darnell, and his parents, Terry and Jay Darnell. Number 29, Andrew Hancock, and his parents, Dan and Annette Hancock. Andrew joined the program this year after transferring from the University of Central Missouri. He's appeared in 14 games with 3 starts on the mound, where he has gone 2-2. Andrew is a marketing major. Ladies and gentlemen, number 29, Andrew Hancock, and his parents, Dan and Annette Hancock. Number 3, Noah Carrero, and his parents, Jeff and Dawn Carrero. Noah is a veteran of 5 seasons with the program. He has started 135 of the 188 games in which he has appeared, where he has batted .276 with 133 hits in that time. He's also produced 134 runs scored, 21 doubles, and 61 runs batted in. An NAI Scholar Athlete and a 3-time All-Conference academic pick, he's earned his undergraduate degree in management and is doing the same with his master's work. Number 3, Noah Carrero, and his parents, Jeff and Dawn Carrero. Number 4, Colin Kelly, and his mother, Megan Kelly, and his brother, Quinn Kelly. Colin is a transfer from South Suburban College. He's been with the Saints each of the past 3 years. During that time, he's appeared in 21 games and has made 11 starts with a 3.81 earned run average to go along with a 3-2 record and 1 save. He's earned his undergraduate degree in marketing and is currently working on a master's in business administration. Colin is an NAI Scholar Athlete and a conference all-academic selection. Ladies and gentlemen, number 4, Colin Kelly, his mother Megan Kelly, and his brother Quinn Kelly. Number 20, Luke Ketchum, and his parents Jim and Pam Ketchum. Delta State University last spring, Luke has played in 91 games over the past 2 seasons, where he's batted .333. During that time, he's collected 86 hits, including 15 doubles, 5 triples, and 15 home runs, with a team-high 12 home runs this year. He's also driven in 66 runs in his career as a Saint. He's an NAI Scholar athlete who is working on his master's in management. Number 20, Luke Ketchum, and his parents Jim and Pam Ketchum. Number 25, Dallas Matlock, and his father Derek Matlock. A 4-year Saint, Dallas has seen time as both a pitcher and outfielder, appearing in 17 games between the 2 roles, primarily as a pitcher. He's gained his most playing time this season, appearing in 12 contests, where he's also collected a pair of hits. He is a communication and media arts major. Number 25, Dallas Matlock, and his father Derek Matlock. Number 8, John Peterson. His parents, John and Ann Peterson, and his brother, Brian Peterson. John has been with the program for 5 years, where he has posted a .275 batting average with 98 career hits in 356 official at-bats. He's also authored 15 doubles, 2 triples, 1 home run, and 46 runs batted in over his 136 games played in the Saint uniform, with 106 of those being starts. He is a psychology major. Number 8, John Peterson, his parents John and Ann Peterson, and his brother Brian Peterson. Number 11, Angel Sandoval, and his father Antonio Sandoval. One of 3 Saints who has been with the program each of the past 5 years, he's made 53 appearances on the mound with 42 starts in that span of time. 15 of those starts have been complete game efforts, with 1 being a shutout. He's earned 17 wins and 1 save during his career with a 3.90 earned run average. He's been named to the all-conference team on 1 occasion and is a management major. Number 11, Angel Sandoval. Number 21, Nick Villasenor, and his parents Debbie and Marty Villasenor. Nick is a transfer from Blackhawk College. He's been with the program each of the past 3 years, going 12-9 with 1 save and a 4.61 ERA during that time. This spring, he has a season-best 6 wins, and of his 29 appearances, 25 have been starts, with 3 complete games, including yesterday's first shutout as a Saint. He is a management major. Number 21, Nick Villasenor, and his parents Debbie and Marty Villasenor. Number 0, Jonathan Wolf, and his parents Todd and Christine Wolf. Jonathan has been a Saint his entire 4-year collegiate career and has appeared in 71 games with 60 starts. He's having his best year of his career, batting .340 with a pair of doubles and 2 home runs. He's also had 49 hits for his career with 35 runs scored. A biology major, he's been named the university's prestigious Lincoln Laureate Award winner for this year's senior class. He's also been an NAI Scholar athlete and a 2-time conference all-academic selection. Ladies and gentlemen, number 0, Jonathan Wolf and his parents Todd and Christine Wolf. How about one more round of applause for our 11 seniors. Number 2, Nick Clemens. Number 16, Hunter Darnell. Number 29, Andrew Hancock. Number 3, Noah Carrero. Number 4, Colin Kelly. Number 20, Luke Ketchum. Number 25, Dallas Matlock. Number 8, John Peterson. Number 11, Angel Sandoval. Number 26, Jake Vera. Number 21, Nick Villasenor, and number 0, Jonathan Wolf.